Today marks a historic day in Zimbabwe. For the first time since independence, maybe for the first time in the history of democracy in the whole world, women have won all the parliamentary seats in a contested election. On her first day in parliament, 23-year-old Stella Mapie has been nominated to the post Speaker of Parliament. This, ladies and gentlemen, is history in the making. For the first time since independence, maybe the history of democracy in the whole world.
I can't imagine it, Sha. She was breathing here and living here and so. And now I told you Parliament. Kanini no futi. No gonna go down Parliament. Leading by example. Is this real?
The whole country waits with bated breath to see what these women will or can achieve. There will be hurdles. There will be big moments, big bills, life-changing legislature, and all the country can do is hope that these women will and have the stamina to shoulder these. Ladies and gentlemen, this
I think
is
I'm doing
a
this for you.
historic moment in the history of the Parliament of
Hello, Mr. Bernardo. Ladies.
Speaker, I won't waste much of your time. Your work will be hard here, but hopefully we'll be there to assist you. I think from your part you recognize Honorable Mlani, your party chief whip, and from the opposition, Honorable Jairus.
Speaker, we'll have plenty of time for celebrating and congratulations. Otowa manje, we have a lot of bills and unfinished business from the previous parliament. But first, we have to, as I've been advised by the clerk here, we need to look into the welfare of the elected parliamentarians.
Not one of us sitting there. We can't be thinking about ourselves. Ladies, please allow me to say something before we start arguing. I intend to be a fair speaker. We're making history here. The first all-female parliament in the history of the world. We need to make sure that when our term expires, we would have repaid the trust that was placed upon us by the electorate. We need to work together. I hope we can work together. Both parties, because we have been elected by the people across the aisle. So let's reach out. Let's reach out and make this institution work for the people.
That being said, this will not be easy because none of the parties is in absolute majority. None. So you need to work together to make sure bills pass. So what we've got to tend to instituting parliamentary portfolio committees. So set the agenda for the session. Okay? Now, ladies, let's take this part on the road. Right?
Why is the minister not here to address these issues? Is it because we are women? You can't defend him because he comes from your party. Here to address serious issues, not rumors or hearsay. We want action on the gender equity bill.
Your question and demand is justified. But can you please be orderly in our behavior? We cannot allow this August House to degenerate into a shouting match every single time we disagree on something.
Madam Speaker,
the chair recognizes Honorable Jairus.
we are agreed that ministers only come here when they want to rubber stamp policies, national decisions, national bills, we are here to debate and institute laws. Yes. I just put that not going to discuss as my sanctions. We are working 10 minutes and it right now tine zvinhu zvakakosha etini tine covid-19 ekutinetsa and takutosvika kuma next elections so chatiri kuda isusu ndechekuti we need to finish electoral reform agenda.
I hardly agree with my colleagues from the other party because I believe their party is a puppet from the West. I strongly believe that she's got a valid point. Similar actions on election reforms. We also need to come up with strategies where we can help women in informal trading so that they can also benefit from the industries, of course.
Mutemo uripo asi hausi kunyatsopasimbisa ipapo saka tingashaisha zvikuru tikabvara dare rino tisina kupanangisa.
Ibulawayo he ghost city. Actually, it's a city of old people because the youth are running away to South Africa. So we need to make conducive legislation that will make these young girls and boys these young boys and girls feel like they belong here, so that they can contribute to a Zimbabwe they can be part of. Yes. We also need to think about the protection of the ladies of the night.
Yes.
We also want access to sexual and reproductive health rights and for women and girls. Yes.
Madam Speaker, we have a pandemic in our midst. COVID-19 is wreaking havoc amongst women. We are staying at home, being caregivers, but we need an income. What is our plan to mitigate this?
Madam Speaker, I want to ask on the protection of our traditional rights as women. We work the land, we are sweating, but we have no legal rights over land.
Women should have adequate and secure rights to land and property. And these rights should be equal to those of men. Women should not be dependent on men in order to secure and enjoy these rights. This is in the Constitution, our Constitution.
Yes.
But why is it so hard to implement on the ground?
You weren't on a chairman, and the party is looking at you to make sure that man gets back into the chair. We need you to make these women fair.
But even from our party,
of course, I mean the women from the opposition. You have to make them look like they're incompetent and fools, and then we make our comeback strong.
But Mafuta is you know, these women have been in class for just a few months. We've made a great progress on that.
Come on.
You know, I've done my best as a clerk. You know, debating my important bills in the party. So, but soon I'm going to lay them on the floor.
You feel as a child. Speak and deal with him. Speak among about to such a
that one, that one is lost to us. But I think our best bet in we just make sure that the chief whip asunga zvino. That one. Because in speaker go ya ndakunwa kana mutena ini. Ndakonyo. You know, I have tried to give all the paces so that muzogomanasikana kuti hano katimugadzisa zvinyika first tozogadzisa zvima benefits later, you know. What kind of politics is that?
You want to see Basarako? It's your office which is responsible for these committees and recommendations. Why are you letting these women exposing the ministers? Huh? Anyway, who approved this live streaming of events? I mean, it's just our national broadcaster will come film, edit, and broadcast. And no one likes these old businesses, the live businesses.
Honorable members, we have instituted statutory instrument 264 of 2018 to make sure that sanitary wear is readily and easily available to every woman and girls across the country.
Minister of Finance, how did the SI make sure that girls from Ulilimangwe get pads? Girls from Zarabani get pads? They need them. We cannot enact SIs and acts and promulgate bills that help no one. Yes. Minister.
We are honorable minister. We demand more here. This is a human right. And as such, it is a constitutional right. We are tired of these statutory instruments. No. Sesefuna ama concrete national plan to make sure that the pads are available in schools across the nation, in all schools. Yes,
But you see, this is for Minister of Health and Education.
The buck stops now. Every ministry should be responsible.
Exactly.
Ministers, committee I say but.
Yes.
Your ministry, in conjunction with the relevant ministries, Amataura, are thus ordered to be back here with a national plan to that effect.
In the past, government officials have been known to play around, but it stops now, Minister. We want people to know that we are the government they chose.
But you see,
with all due respect, Minister, but as no buts. You have been known to hold strings to the country's space, but we are telling you now, Minister, we as the people of the country are saying, Chikwama ndisu isu. Amutore mari mchikwama chenu. The money is for the people.
Exactly.
Yeah. To be honest with you, honorable members, I was not prepared.
Well, let her be prepared.
How, honorable man.
Ay, hakuna ndaba khona kuwena uvela ngaphethe akunandeleka. Ay.
Makema kamera zawona. I was joking.
Honorable member. Please. Right. Minister of Women's Affairs, please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As I was saying, my ministry has begun an exercise to make sure that the government and all state institutions respect and adhere to.
Can we just please let the Minister of Women's Affairs try and explain herself?
We don't want explanations at this stage. Yes. What we want now is testis.
Just give us anything, Minister. We just want even testicles.
Honorable Mlandeli, withdraw your statement.
I mean, what we want right now are statistics to show us how far they've gone. This parliament is a major minister. We want figures. Minister. And also you as a woman, you should want more women in power.
I do. The more more women we have, the more leverage we have. Huh? And it is.
We want to own our land. Tipiwe simba. Useyimisile kutaurira machief kumamisha uko.
The bill on land rights for women has been debated and sent back to the relevant ministry. We shall soon be voting on this bill in the coming weeks.
Kana tichizvivotera zvakanaka kaizvi ngekuti madzimai aichari kungoda chete kuita power repeater on land. Ngekuti kana munhu aroriwa oita basa rekuteerana nemurume arume mazona achachengeti mhuri ba kumusha uko
We need to enhance this legislation as a matter of urgency. We need to secure the rights of women to land ownership for them in order to venture into high crop value production.
Mina ngiyesikalazo lapha. Kanti vele yona i-farming equipment leyana ihamba njani vele? Ngoba lathi sebesifuna ukuthi ube le fair distribution. Ngoba
As the House is aware, my ministry has proposed a bill on women and land rights, women in mining bill, which we presented to the House. And as we speak to the Parliamentary Legal Committee, we shall bring the bills for members' consideration and vote.
Well, on that note, we shall adjourn and convene for further deliberations in 2 hours.
Madam Speaker, tiudzewo kuti makatirongerei isusu vasikana vekumaruwa since nemiwo muri musikana wekumaruwa.
Honorable member, it is not what I have done for rural girls as an individual, but as a leader of this August House, I work with other honorable women too.
Madam Speaker, muri kunzvenga mubvunzo. Young rural girls still walk kilometers to get to school. They are still being married off. Sanganene mubvunzo, Madam Speaker. Give this August House an answer.
Miss, without need to say, ukatela parliamentary session ake, she's trying her best.
I rise on a point of order. You are evading the question.
Order, honorable member, order. We are in session now, order.
Honorable member, don't do that.
Order, 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 order.
Please, order. Honorable members, can you come to order? We have debated extensively the Women's Land Rights Bill and the Gender Equity Bill. Now, these bills not only seek to cement the gains by women, but they are also there to concretize and equitably distribute economic opportunities for women in mining, agriculture, tourism, in all industries generally.
Speaker,
yes.
I rise on a point of privilege.
The chair recognizes you.
I wanted to highlight that we as parliamentarians have sacrificed our own comfort. Zali's motor, we gave up our own pigs to buy access to Mukakula. We need to benefit from the opportunities that arise henceforth in whatever we
Order, please come to order.
Ladies, we have worked hard to put our differences aside to make sure that the bill passes today. Yes. Let's not tarnish what we are set to achieve today by making it about ourselves.
Members, let's behave. Honorable members. Today is a historic day. Now I'm going to call for a vote. And those who will be in favor of the vote, you show by a raise of hands. And ladies, be cognizant that these two bills will set a precedent on how we run things in this house. As a non-partisan group, as an assembly that's moving forward to push this great country forward. So, before you decide on how you're going to vote, I would ask each and every one of you to just stop for a moment. Take a deep breath. Take a long, deep breath. And think. When they write about this all-female parliament, and be sure that they will, when they write in the history books, which side of history do you want to find yourselves on?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a historic moment in the history of the Parliament of Zimbabwe. 2 historic bills are on the floor today. The country waits with bated breath. Can an evenly split parliament pass not 1, but 2 very significant bills?
They'll definitely be sanctioned by the court. They will specifically couched in court against. That's all. Anyway, why are you sitting there? You were supposed to block this network director. Huh? Anyway, people are supposed to see that an all-female parliament is not workable. Yet we're about
I tried everything to make a party chief into lying on, but these women decided to work together. I was reassured they hate each other, but somehow they decided to work together when it matters. I don't know what shows I said, and some position. But I tried my best. You know, to change it to you. You don't try one, I want to try with someone. You know, because these women can also only be kids. You try one.
I think I'm helping Pela Mgane.
I guess so.
What does it mean? I know that I'll be sanctioned by my party.
But you did the right thing.
I hope so. But you know what? For an opposition and patriotic person, you're not too bad.
For a misplaced ideologically relic, you're not bad yourself.
So what now from here?
I guess the sky is the limit of what we can do working together.
So let's do it.
Yeah.
So what apart?
All right.
She didn't.
Well, technically it was the whole of Parliament, but I could go next.
Ladies of the esteemed August House, before us today is another opportunity, a historic opportunity to demand and declare by our actions our intent to promote democracy and rule of law. By our vote here today, we institute the last impediment to our re-engagement efforts with the rest of the world. Before us, I have the Electoral Reform Amendment Bill number 5. Order. How do we vote? Those in favor, carry the day.
So don't mind it. Kurasa msangano just like that. Just like that. The party orders are very clear. No reforms until sanctions go.
Good, Chef. This is what we have been talking about all along. We cannot change the sanctions imposed on us, but we can rewrite our narrative.
Yes, ma'am.
Honestly, comrade, I don't understand what's wrong with us cooperating with women from the other side of the aisle. To pass the legislation that benefits the country.
Comrade, Mahabu sanitizer this regime guy. People will not think that these guys are now democratic. How do you convince people with Penal Street? How do you convince people with unfollow over Twitter? When you guys are passing bills that allow unlimited freedom. Comrade,
so this is how you repay party officer in parliament. Huh? Comrade, musetonge makazvarwa muri pa. Tinokuita recall manje so. Masenzwa? Tinokuita recall izvezvi. Musakanga mwewarning yamakapiwa na party chair. Tinokuita recall.
Comrade, andisemteni zvanga. But why don't you just set aside our own interests? Why don't you just focus on the interests of the people? These are the people who voted for us. They are the people who put us in power. You know what this was?
Honestly, comrade, I'm now confused. And then, because I thought this was a good thing.
Yeah, comrade, you were passing bills without the party's council. That has to stop now with this bill.
Chief, we have been campaigning for our freedoms and we've gained them. Now I'm Chadi. I'm Chamadi. We have been campaigning for my media reforms and we have the Minister of Information redrafting that bill.
Unupenga. Iwe, it's super takana. We had to set aside our interest of living. Tikaenda kuti tinofa. Mosenzwa. Kufa chako kuti fi. Do you think it was in our interest to go and die? Huh? As takangonofa zvakadaro, we died for this country. Takafa, comrade.
Dr. Chef, you need to give us a pat on the back. We have achieved a lot of things. We have passed a lot of bills. What are they going to say, Chef?
Huh? Comrade, iso takapinda parliament makore hobo. Munofunza twedu kusada kuita reforms. Huh? Takapusa man. Comrade, munoswera mapashi. Azvinzwa. Munhu sakangano kuti munhu ukabuda musangano unounyana. Wokunyana. Sakangano. This is your final warning. No reforms on the media bill. Do you see? All
the party is saying is do not pass the media reform bill.
What's in the meaning to say?
Do not pass the bill. Period. I will not comment. If you're not convinced with the mandate of the people to recall you, not as a power of the party, and the party can also remove you. It's that simple. To vote or not to vote.
Today marks a definitive and distinct day for the all-female parliament. The Media Reform Draft Bill has been a sticking point in this parliament. To have or not to have multiple television stations, to have or not to have community radio stations, that is the question.
This bill is dead. It's dead in the water. When we are in the government, when we are in power, we are going to have a bigger, better bill. Huh? We have to kill this bill, ladies. If the world see us working with these guys, they'll think that everything is all right.
But, comrade, is it not possible that if the parliament splits evenly, we will be able to pass the bill? And we can work together across the divide, like Zimbabweans. If we try.
I know these guys. I've been with these guys since 2000. I know how they operate. I know how they are wired. They're just luring you into a false sense of security.
To what end, Nayati?
You are now supping with the devil. Huh? Remember, we can chuck you out of the party. This bill has to fail.
Are there any more questions concerning the Media Reform Bill, which is being presented to us after the second reading and final input from the parliamentary legal team? If there are no more contributions, by show of hands, those in favor of the bill? Members, by show of hands. If no yes vote is recorded, then I'll call upon the members, by show of hands, those opposed to the bill.